Alright, so if you take a look at the bodies here, ES versus NQ, you'll be able to see that the bodies closing prices, if you take out the wicks, we have higher highs on ES and lower highs on NQ. So to me, that is SMT. Okay, I'm placing my stops at the inversion fair value gaps low, right? It can step through it into the consequent encroachment of the new wick opening gap, and from there I would like to see it drop lower aggressively. There is going to be a 5 minutes fair value gap. Alright, so right now we have the 5 minutes fair value gap confirmed. My target would be 50% of the opening range gap. Okay, basically the low down here. For now it seems like it does not want to gravitate up here. It seems like that, right? I think if we are able to close below, alright, we've taken out the lows here. Right, so at this point in time, I think this is going to be a breakaway gap, and the next most reasonable short entry would be here to here, but if you look at the points, it's not a lot, so I'm probably not going to take this trade here. Or even better, it might not even provide that setup. Right, so if these lows are ran prior to 10:30, I might have a move from 10:30 onwards. On the higher time frames, 50 minutes, there is targets for Asia's low. In my opinion, if it is going to take out the low here, it should have respected this fair value gap. And this fair value gap right here should stay as a breakaway gap. Right, as you can see right here, it did not really tap into it. But in my opinion, if it comes back for it, then to me this low might be saved for later. Right now, if you're short, you really want to see price close below the low here and then starts to speed down lower. Right, so this price action here is exactly not what you want to see. Alright, to me right now, if price is to close above this fair value gap, this is going to be inversion fair value gap to go higher and take out this high. $3.2, not a good risk to reward. Alright, so right now as you can see, we did not even reach into this fair value gap, right? Price just stayed within this fair value gap here in terms of the bodies, and then it dropped lower. So the next objective would be 75% and then the full closing of the opening range gap. If it is going to do that, we're going to take out Asia's low, which is what I'm anticipating it to happen. Right? On the 15 minutes, we do have this fair value gap right here, CB, that we can utilize for later on if price ever wants to trade back up after 10:30. Okay. Over here on the 5 minutes, we don't really have any fair value gaps, but we do have the breaker. So maybe the breaker would work, but I would need, I don't like to short the breakers, so we'll see how this goes. Asia low is right here, right at this low here. Let me just mark that out. Asia's low. Right. So if it creates a fair value gap here, then it also means that price is quite heavy. Right, look at this equal lows down here. To me, how high can we trade? We can trade up to the high of the opening range gap. If you look at the wick right here, I'm going to use this wick to measure the strength of bearishness because we have closed below the wick. This wick here is significant because it was the last move lower before it took out all these highs. Right, so I'm going to use the wicks to gauge if we're going to continue bearish or not based on the closing prices of the subsequent candles. 5 minutes, right? 5 minutes. So technically, if you're bearish, you want to see the wick 50% not closed above. Alright, so no candles closing above 50% of this particular wick. Right? I am going to color it in a lighter shade. Oops. The white color, right? Right, so because there's no fair value gaps on the 5 minutes except for this one, this would be the best entry, and you don't really want to see this gap traded too, right? Let's take a look on the 15 minutes. Yep, 15 minutes fair value gap would be right around here, exactly at the 5 minutes fair value gap. So if I take a look at this level here as an interest, let's see the 1 minute. It is this relative equal highs there, and you don't expect the highs to be traded too. So if that's the case, let's measure the wick again. Shorts. This candle here would be the invalidation, 4 points. Targeting 75% 2R. It's not too bad, right? And if I really want to take it all the way down to Asia's low, that would be 3R. Right, so let's see the 15 minutes. If it closed the 15 minutes which is 5 more minutes to go, I can key off my entries here and my stops here. The only problem that I have is there is no SMTs on the highs, right? That's the only problem here. Right, didn't give any entries at all, even up to now. We've taken out those relative equal lows right here. Okay, with this down close candle, up close candle, right now we are left with the opening range gaps low, the daily opening price, and the Asia's low. Right, so far no entries, even on the 5 minutes. 1 more minute to the close of this current candle. Breaker seems to be the best choice here, best choice of weapon here, right? But because we have taken out short-term lows, I still think the best entry would be here in terms of risk, right? I would like to see this particular candle close below 50% of the opening range gap. 30 more seconds. Alright, so I'm going to put my limits here. And I'll be looking for Asia's low. I'll take note of the breaker right here. Okay, so right here, 15 minutes breaker. Right, if it just wants to continue lower without any retracements, then so be it. There's nothing I can do. Which is very possible. Right, I don't need this anymore. My shorts are only valid if Asia's low is not met, right? If it takes out Asia's low from now all the way down without any form of retracements, then I would have no trades from this entire move here. It's 10:30, so naturally I'm gonna anticipate some form of retracements. Right, it always happens after 10:30. Right, and after that, I mean, based on the current order flow, I think we're going to continue lower. So far, we're still staying within the opening range gap. Personally, if it's going to be bearish, it shouldn't even trade above the 25% level here. But we'll see how it goes. If it trades up here into the 15 minutes breaker and it starts to break lower or starts to move lower, then I'll probably enter my shorts on the second leg down. If for whatever reason it remains heavy, which means accumulating down here, and then closes this candle with a huge fair value gap down here, I'll utilize this balanced price range, which is also known as inversion fair value gap, right, for lower prices instead of looking for the breaker. Right, so let's see if it wants to remain heavy, because if it is just accumulating down here, then I don't think it should attack above 50% of the opening range gap. Okay, it should just stay below and then attack the lows here. Right, and I'm looking at this as a market maker sell model, so I will be shorting at the second leg of distribution, which should be low resistance liquidity run. So for that, I'm just going to highlight this area. And I want to see, take a look at the lower time frames. Okay, we have this down close candle here. We have a short-term fair value gap here on the 5 minutes. On the 1 minute, we have this small little fair value gap, right? So if I were to take that, I would use this 2.5, attacking Asia's low, 3.2R. It's not too bad. And I could risk 2 lots if my entry is right here and my stops is right here. Right? Why would I place my stops here? It's above 50%. Second thing is that we have balanced this price range here, so price should have no reason to come out here. And this is the third candle, right, in a set of 3 down close candles that formed this fair value gap, right? But the 15 minutes have to provide a fair value gap by itself. Alright, so right now we have SMT on the lows with NQ. Let's see if the price wants to retrace higher. Right now we are still waiting for this. I'm still waiting for this 15 minutes candle to close. Okay. So this particular candle has traded into this fair value gap here prior to the close of the 15 minutes candle. So to me right now, if it wants to remain very heavy today, we're going to drop from now into Asia's low. But to me, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to retrace slightly higher a little bit before continuing the expansion. $10.30. And I also want to remind myself that on the higher time frames, we are bullish. Okay, it's just that because today is Friday, and for this entire week, price has been moving higher, which is why I think that we could attack Asia's low. Alright, so the 5 minutes actually traded into, I mean the current 15 minutes candle actually traded into this fair value gap here and fully closing up the inversion fair value gap. Right, so if the lower time frames is not respecting the higher time frames PDRA, then that means that this one here is pretty much useless. Okay, so I'll see. Right, on a 1 minute, even closing above this Yep, so to me, I will remove this fair value gap here. I mean this inversion here, because it's useless for now, and I'll look at the breaker. In my humble opinion, I think that this fair value gap here should remain open if we are going to attack Asia's low. If we trade up all the way into this fair value gap after this candle's close or during this candle itself, then to me it's a very low probability, or should I say high resistance liquidity run. Alright, so we're right back at the 50% of the opening range gap. I think it's going to leave a fair value gap here. If it does not leave a fair value gap here and it trades all the way into this candle's low, that to me I want to see it as immediate rebalance to go lower. So we're going to have an aggressive price run lower. That's what I want to see. Okay. So for now, it looks like this high here is going to be ran through. It looks like it, or we can utilize this old fair value gap once more. Okay, and other than that, I don't really see price trading up into this highs here, because if price is really going to trade into this highs here, then we're most likely going to reverse higher. Okay, let's see what else. Alright, so we have tagged the low of this candle. Right now it's crucial. We have this price move here, consecutive up close candles. To me, this is not a sustainable price action. Okay, I mean not sustainable meaning that when it comes back down, it's gonna run through all this move here. Alright, so let's see if it takes out this high, this short-term high, and remain within this fair value gap. Right, that's what I want to see. But this type of price action is gonna make shorting very difficult when it reverses, because there is no levels that you can key off from, right? So it's not good. It's not good. Right now, relative equal highs. The high is, let me double check. The high 5251, 525, yep, equal highs right now. The 50% should support the price to take out this high at this very moment. There should be no candles closing below 50% for now. If it closes below, I mean, it's gonna chop around first before attacking the high, right? I would rather this candle, I mean subsequent candles, start to spool towards the high. Right, so we've closed below. This is a warning sign to me that the price action is starting to it's starting to lag, right? Lag meaning it's starting to be very lethargic. I mean, it starts to behave very lethargically. I don't even know if that's the word, but it's slowing down. It's not wanting to spool to a certain direction. Right, so the 15 minutes, we have closed the candle like this. Okay. Best case scenario, it drops at this very candle here into Asia's low. Worst case scenario, trades up into this halfway point of the wick and then drops. Okay. Now see, if it starts to go lower from now, I have no levels that I can key off from, right? The last swing high is over here. If price closes below the 50% of the swing high, we are going to accelerate lower. Look at the wonderful reaction. So because of the market profile as well, this is expansion, right? Naturally, the next quarter, we're going to have some sort of accumulation. Expansion, accumulation, and then accumulation / consolidation, whichever you want to use. Expansion, consolidation, consolidation, expansion. It's like a cycle, like a phase to it. Alright, so there's a fair value gap here, but because of this equal highs, I don't have confidence to go short right here, and there is no swing lows over here as well for me to validate this fair value gap. And price is still respecting this wick here, and most importantly the 75% of the opening range gap, right, after tagging the breaker here. Right, so to me right now, price is showing some sort of unwillingness to go lower. We are approaching the macro timing, by the way. 3 more minutes, 2 more minutes. And the best thing that can confirm that we're going to accelerate lower from now onwards would be SMT between ES and NQ, either one of these highs, right? 1, 2, 3. These 3 highs are contenders for SMTs. If you take a look at NQ, it's slightly weaker than ES, so I'm just going to wait it out. This quarter here is going to end in about a few minutes time. 10:53 will start the new quarter. Okay, this is from Day's quarterly theory, by the way. Alright, so I'm gonna remove this fair value gap right here. It's a little bit of an eyesore because it's not useful. Right, I mean, for me right now, the price is gonna really gravitate lower. The next up close candle should not be formed until we take out the low here. Okay, so there should be no green candles from now until the low is taken out. If there is a green candle, it's showing weakness, that it wants to go lower, so technically not enough strength to go lower. Right, so as ICT mentions, if price is strong and it wants to go to a certain direction really fast, you don't really want to see many, in this case you don't really want to see many up close candles, right? Because up close candles are formed for selling opportunities only. So if there are lots of outclose candles, it also means that sponsorship is very weak. NQ has a better price action though. I mean, from the highs here. If you take a look at NQ, NQ traded into its inversion fair value gap on the left before going lower, right? But I picked ES. Wrong decision in terms of picking the markets, but it's fine. Eventually I'll get my move. Alright, so for now we have this up close candle here. You really want to see a down close candle right now. Oh, cool. We have SMT on this high. NQ made a higher high. Okay. So just keep in mind of this high and this high. NQ took out this high. On the lower time frames, there should be an entry, but I'm not interested. Okay. Because higher time frame dictates the narrative. Alright, so we're not closing below the wick here just yet. This candle here better be a down close candle to take out this low here. Take out this low and then close below this low here. That is the minimum requirement for us to see price start to go lower. Alright, so the close is very important. It's 10:50 now. Alright. Alright, so this is exactly what you want to see if you're short, right? So we have a volume imbalance here. If price can come up into this level here, it should go lower from now and with speed. Okay, you don't want to see it hanging around here anymore. I mean, I'm not going to put any orders in. Let me see. From this to this high here, it's only 1.5 hour. I'm not interested in this. Right, took out the lows here. You really want to see price teleport down into the daily opening price and Asia's low. Right, wow, look at that. Amazing. Right, you don't want to see it do this thing. You want to see it close below the daily open. This is very important here. Right, it's close right on the daily open. Right now at this very candle, it should attack Asia's low right now, because if it doesn't do so, it's going to reverse higher. Okay, so the daily objective has been met. Overall, I didn't have any trades, unfortunate. There wasn't any 5 minutes fair value gaps that I can key off from. That's number one. Number two, it's a 15 minutes breaker. This is not my model here. I don't trade off the breakers, right? So that's one reason why I didn't put my entries here. But anyways, it's really fun narrating the price action. Alright, so because we have taken out Asia's low, it's 10:50. I'm looking for some sort of retracements. If you take a look at the weekly time frame, let me look at it on the other chart. Where is it? Right, we are really close to 2.5, and the maximum I give is 30%, right? 30% retracement back into the weekly range, and from 30% onwards there should be some sort of retracements. For retracements, this is very hard. Let's see. Right. So far, there's no SMT on the lows between S&P and Nasdaq, but we do have the Dow refusing to take out London's low for now. Right, thank you. XI beats. Thanks for your compliment. Right, so because we are below daily open, we took out a major liquidity here. I'm not comfortable shorting the price right now. Right, so the basic rule is, if you want to short, you better have your entries above the daily opening price. The higher the better, right? And if you are wanting to go long, the same thing applies, right? It's better that your positions are built or open below daily open. So right now, because we have traded from the highs to the lows daily open, I am not interested in shorts. Okay, so we have relative equal highs right here. I want to see if we can gravitate back up into this area for that lunch hour retracement, right? Which is 1150 to 1210. To be honest, I hate days like this. You know, when your analysis is right, but it just didn't give you your entry. Right. I just have to wait for next week. So right now what I'm watching is if we can close back into the opening range gap. Because if we can close back into the opening range gap, there is a opportunity here for this highs to be taken. Yes, patience is a virtue, you're right, but it's very hard to enforce. All right. If it wants to remain heavy, this fair value gap should send the price lower. Okay, you don't want to see it trade above the opening range gap, because the opening range gap, if we're really bearish right now, it should act as resistance to go lower. For downside targets, there isn't really any, even on higher time frames for now, because what you can aim for is this low right here, because we have taken out, price has reached into a quarterly fair value gap. On the 4 hours as well, we have reached into that fair value gap. So yeah, it's better not to short right now. The 1 hour did not close below Asia's low. Okay, that's not good. I mean, if you're shorts, that is not good. Okay. Yeah, but the Dow Jones didn't even. Let me check. It looks like the Dow Jones didn't even close below the low that made the high. Right. Okay, so for now, if NQ and ES, either one of them take out this low, I'll treat it as SMT, and I'm going to reverse higher. Right. Now I'm just waiting. It's either we take out the lows first or we trade above this fair value gap. Okay. Don't tell me it's another SMT here. On a 1 minute, this is lower lows, NQ higher lows, right? So if we take off from here, I can go long my stops here, and that will be the only trade for today. Let's see. How many points is this? Long. It has to close above this high, right? 2.5. It's now closing above. Let me take a look at the seconds chart. Right, there's a fair value gap right here. I don't like how we have this small little fair value gap below the low, but let's see. I'll trust the 1 minute. I shall not go down into the seconds chart. It's a trap. Right, I don't like how we are having that many down close candles for now. I don't like that. I mean, if you're going to go higher, right? I don't like that. I'm just going to remove this for now. It's a little bit of an eyesore. NQ, go higher. NQ is close above that fair value gap. This fair value gap here. For NQ, it has closed above. So NQ would be a better pick here, but I'm going to stick with ES. Uh, 75 minutes fair value gap. Oh, right. Here. No wonder it's having trouble going higher. 1 more 50 minutes. Oh. You see this down close candle here? It has closed below this up close candle. So your shorts position, if you're going for lower prices, it should be within the wick here. And just so happens, right now, price is trading into that wick and it's respecting that 1 minute fair value gap. Unable to make higher highs, unlike NQ. Okay. The only problem with this down close candle is that it's too near the daily open. I don't like that at all. It's just too near the daily open to be considered as premium. I mean, because the daily open, it's over here, the low is right here, and because it's taken out, sorry, the low is right here right now, so the high to the low, it's in discount of the current daily range from this high to this low. So this, to me, it's quite a problematic up close candle if you're going to use it as a bearish order block. Alright, let's see on the 1 minute. Right, NQ is moving higher. That's a good sign that ES should want to do the same, but I would require ES to close above the down close candles, and best case scenario close above this fair value gap right here. No, we don't have a close above the fair value gap. It closed right on the fair value gap, but it did manage to close above this down close candle here. Do I or did I? No, I don't. I need a fair value gap, man. If I don't get a fair value gap, there's no entry. I mean, if it trades lower from here, I'll be so glad that I didn't take this order block trade here. Okay. ES is not going anywhere. NQ is trading higher. I guess I'll just have to wait for the higher time frame SMT. Alright, yes, it's probably going to take out the low. If we can close here, this is a valid breaker from this wick. This is a valid breaker, and it should drop because it's traded above. It should drop now into this lows here, right? So I'm gonna shift the focus into this. You don't want to see any candles closing above 50%, right? If you're anticipating it to go lower. The daily opening price should act as a resistance, so you don't even want to see it close above the daily opening price. Right, so right here you have implied fair value gap. Okay, halfway point of this wick here, basically this is the same it's the same length, so 50% fair value gap entry, lower prices if it ever wants to trade there. But for ES, because it's way more bearish than NQ, I don't think it's going to trade up again. It's going to crash down, take out this low. Hopefully we form some sort of SMT between this low and this low here with NQ, and then ES just reverse higher. That would be a better price action in my opinion. Rejection blocks do count as a stop hunt. Okay, we're just gonna mark it here. Rejection block. This is a rejection block. Alright, so if we start to trade higher from now, this is a valid SMT, right? would much prefer it to trade deeper into that rejection block, like maybe 50% of the wick here. That would be nicer in my opinion, rather than this, rather than that exact price, right? Let's see if it wants to provide that. If it can close below 50, alright, right now you don't really want to see up close candles, you want to see it drop, okay, because it has closed below 50% of this entire wick, and it's also a swing low. It's closed below this swing low as well. So for now, you don't really want to see up close candles until this low is taken. Okay, if you start to see down close candles that overlaps or engulfs down close candles, then that's a problem here for shorts, right? Right, so something like this is exactly not what you want to see. This is a rather large up close candle, right? If we can close above this candle here, this 2 down close candle would be a bullish on the block. That's if, okay? Price hasn't proved it yet. I need price to prove itself. And then I think the best entry would form at 11:15 onwards, 11:15, and from 11:15 onwards we should gravitate towards those equal highs above, right here. Alright, let's close above this order block, and also the 50% of the wick, and also the daily opening price. Right now this is really bullish, okay? Let me see, if I were to long, my stops is here, is 3 points. I'll wait for a further gap. Right, so you want to see the daily open offer support, and you want to see this act as inversion for price to go higher. Right, so once bearish breaker, it's going to be bullish right now. Okay, volume balance is fine as well. If I get that, I'll take it. All right, limit buy. My stops will be here. Stop. I mean, I need it to fill. I don't know why, but I can't put. There's no. Yeah, I can't. I'll wait for it to fill. Okay, my stop is here. I'm trusting this low, right? I don't want to see price closing below this 50% of this swing high. My targets will be, I want to take it here. I'll take it here. Volume imbalance, because ES is slightly weaker. Don't want to try to force things. I don't want to see a closing price. Oh, this is not what I want. This candle better trade higher. If this candle stays below, I'll cut my position. This candle needs to trade above this down close candle here. because we have closed, not closed, but overlapped the body with this volume imbalance. This volume imbalance to me should not be utilized again. So I'm expecting price to run above this swing high with speed. Right, this is okay. It's closing back above the 50%. Right, so above this swing high, I want to see speed. Let me take a look at the 5 minutes. I'll just put it here and I'll exit when necessary. Any down close candle closing below this candle here, this green candle here. Alright, I'll cut it. I don't like it. It's hanging around too long. And I don't like how it closed below the daily opening price. Kind of tricky here. Unfortunate if it runs. I'll just let it go. Or if it presents another fair value gap, then maybe I can enter off there. But I just don't like how we are coming back down again after overlapping the body of this volume imbalance. Low probability. Consolidation profiles. Now let's see if my stops get tagged. My stops is this swing low right here. Oh, I'll be very worried right now if I'm still holding on to my position. This is very troublesome here. NQ is not moving. It's still staying in premium for now relative to the current dealing range on the lower time frames. But yes, it's not moving higher. Right. I think it's going to take me out. Take this low out. Alright. So there's still a chance of SMT below this low here because NQ is really deep, really high up in premium. I'll just have to wait. If it runs higher with this higher high, to me, this trend line here, I'll prefer to attack it. So I won't trust this trend line here. Even if it runs higher, I'm not gonna trust this, because my stops, I have no validation for those. So I wouldn't consider it to be SMT, right? For me right now, it's pretty clear that price is in accumulation. So it's best for me to wait until it takes out one side of the range. This range high and this range low. But of course, because I'm leaning bullish in short term wise, I would prefer it to take out the range lows and then reverse higher to the range highs. The range is getting smaller. Looks like a bear flag. From this high to this low, right now it looks like a bear flag. It's nice to see, because my analysis is going long. Alright, NQ has taken out relative equal highs, trading into a premium CB, and it's also in line with the last up close candle, which is also a bearish order block. So let's see if we get any reaction off of that level for NQ, and if we can push ES lower. Gonna remove this. We have a small tiny fair value gap right here. I would like to see it fill, because there's a low probability fair value gap. We should start trading lower right now once that fair value gap fails. Alright, lower prices please. Take out the stops and reverse. Thank you very much. There's nothing to annotate down here, I mean, to be honest. which is why I am doing this. This is not significant at all, but yeah. Price should stay below that fair value gap, and then attack the sell stops. Let's go. Let's go. You want to see speed below this low here, teleportation candles into this low, right? I mean, if you're short right here, it's not a lot of points. But if you use size, yeah, it could be different. All right. 11:15 it is. That's the next time. Close below, close above. I don't really want to short though. Because if it goes higher, it means if it goes higher first, it probably means that we're gonna come down and attack these lows. But I don't really want to short at this point in time because we have already taken out Asia's low, and I don't really have any objectives below that. So headache, man. It's a headache. Oh, let me measure the projection. I forgot I can do that. Let's use this high to this low. 2.5, 4. Yeah, we are at 4. So we should reverse higher, at least into 50% of this current dealing range, which is above this highs. Yes, I'm right on my analysis. So please do so. I'm waiting. But I would like for this lows to be taken out first. I can't trust this lows. Takes out the low, it hits into negative 4.5 standard deviation or 5, and then you trade higher. That would be the best, man. I mean, don't do this. Don't trade higher first. Do I have anything on the 5 minutes? No, I don't. I don't have anything on the 5 minutes. Oops. Back into the opening range gap. What else? Fibs from this high to this. Yeah. 4.5 somewhere around here. 5 would be below this lows here, right? Maybe I could put my targets here. Next objective. If it ever trades back up into this level first, then this would be my interest. Okay. Right. NQ is continuing to make higher highs, but with the same shitty price action. so far. Okay, so if I'm bullish, I don't want to see candle closing below this 50%. Above this high, you really want to see speed. Okay. I'm gonna mark out the next timing 11:38. Right here would be the end of this quarter. And what else? From this to 12 would be the final quarter. All right. So I'm gonna take the Q1 as expansion, Q2 consolidation, Q3 consolidation. Right now I would love to see a stop hunt, and in Q4 reversal. Okay, 1 2 3 4. So why did I mark out this level here? Because it's an implied fair value gap. This candle's 50%, I mean the wick 50%, and this candle's wick 50%. That will form the implied fair value gap right here. So between these two 50%, this is the implied fair value gap. So if price is to be bullish, you don't want to see candles closing below this implied fair value gap. All right, and so right now, let's see if we can trade back up into the inversion fair value gap and drops. Okay, we have left equal highs here, but on the 5 minutes, it's basically trading up into this fair value gap here. Okay. Curious to see what's the first fair value gap after 9:30. No fair value gaps. After 9:30, the first fair value gap right here. Alright, so why was I looking at this? It's because this indicates whether price is going to go higher or not. Okay, the first fair value gap here. If it is bullish, you want to see it stay above, but obviously you have to use narrative to complement this idea here. So if it is bullish, it should stay above, but if you're bullish, you want to see it trade below and stay below. So right here we have it trading down below, went higher, and then creating this fair value gap here and this fair value gap here. Interesting. All right, back to the price action. Okay, volume imbalance. I'm just gonna take this. Yeah, take this out. Alright, so this is the implied fair value gaps low that I was talking about. We have a body overlapping this volume balance. Man, I mean, look at this. Phantom trend lines. we have 2 more minutes. Wait, is it 2 or 3? 1, 2, 3. 3 more minutes. Sorry, 3 more minutes for lower prices. Not for, sorry, I think we're gonna attack the lower prices after 11:38, and that should set the stage for the macro at 11:45. No, not 45, 11:50. Right, this is exactly what I want to see. Lower prices first. Okay, take out the lows, and then I'm gonna go long. Come on, man. You really want to see this candle close below this up close candle, okay? Ten more seconds. Counting down. Right. If it happens to close below this low, this is a value breaker right here. And worst scenario, it's going to trade up into this bearish order block, right? This low here, come on, take it. Right, finally it's taken out the low. Now let's see if it wants to reverse higher, okay? Or if it wants to reach into this objective. That would be the, to me, this is going to be the low for this AM session if it wants to trade down into this level here. Finally. Alright, so this inversion implied fair value gap works. Okay. Finally, something that worked among all this consolidation. Alright. Now, what I want to see is price not closing below this swing low. Oh, perfect. Right, and I want to see speed, like a V-shaped recovery, you know, speed. Yeah. This down close candle will be my first order block candidate. But let's see, okay, let's see. I'm gonna remove this Asia's low. It's useless already because it has been utilized. I'm gonna watch this red. So if it is to continue to go lower into 5233, this is the fair value gap. That should send it lower. And if it doesn't send it lower and we get a closing price above here, or best, if we get a bullish fair value gap within this area here, that would be the perfect setup, right? NQ has relative equal lows, so that is something that I should be careful of. Alright, so bear flag traders tripped short, right, over here. Breakout shorts, continue lower, continuation, right? So right now I want to play against the idea. But I'll have to wait for price to prove itself. You shouldn't, I mean, if you're short, you shouldn't want to see any closing prices above this candle here, this down close candle. If we have an up close candle above this down close candle, that's a high probability of reversals. right? At this point in time, if we get a down close candle closing below this body here of this up close candle, this up close candle becomes a valid bearish order block. Alright, so 10 more minutes. We have 10 more minutes for the price to consolidate all at once. I'm anticipating a move or a price spooling event from 11:50 onwards. So just imagine that as the lunchtime macro, whereby it's gonna run against whatever that was in profits. I mean, whoever that was in profits. And after that, whether it wants to continue lower or it wants to make a full reversal, it depends during the lunch hour. But usually retracements against those that are in profits. So right now, obviously, profits are in the shorts. Oh, there's this filter here for tilt. This is interesting here because its top steps, I just realized that I can use this. So its top steps, what do you call it, sentiment thing, whereby they have all the traders information, I mean information in terms of their positions when they are using the top step X platform to trade. So right now on S&P we have 55% in short. Oh, they have an average short price. Why can't I see that? Oh, here. So average short price of 5241 right here. Oh, so their majority are short right here. Okay, and the longs 45% average price. What? They long here? I mean, I don't understand, but okay. And right now Nasdaq has switched to shorts. Prior to that it was longs. Yeah, that's really cool. One of the cool features. Right, seems like it wants to reach for 5233. Wow, right now ES is 60% short. What do you mean by negative? Percentage of top step traders who are down. I see. Oh, we have taken out this level. Time for reversals. Let's go. Let's go. Negative just dropped. Oh, 64% short. They're gonna buy, I mean, they're gonna short this breakout, right? I'm gonna long this breakout. Okay, come on. Trade above this down close candle. It will have a validation for longs. Alright, this low right here is not important anymore. I would prefer if Nasdaq not make a lower low in terms of the 5 minutes. Or should I say the 15 minutes? I think it's the 5 minutes, yeah. Here, this low right around here. Nasdaq has a low right around here. So I would prefer that low to be left open. Then we will have a higher time frame SMT, whereby ES makes a low low here and here, whereas NQ is higher low. Okay. Oh, what's this? Yes. I'm watching the 50% of the wick here. Closing below 50% of the wick, we are going lower. Okay. Lower prices we have here. 5231. Yep, 5231. Step by step, right? This candle here. You don't really want to see it. Trade above this candle for now. Let's take a look. Yeah, we have this fair value gap here. Right now, I'm shifting my focus here. Alright, so because we have closed below here, it's much more likely that we're going to go slightly lower. Oh, sorry, we have a fair value gap right here. I almost missed that. Right here, this tiny little fair value gap. Alright, so NQ right now, people are long. NQ is reversing higher, it's ripping higher. So ES should do the same, correct? Closing above this down close candle would be valid, in my opinion. But I'll need a fair value gap. I'll buy the next fair value gap. And that will be my last try, because I will be most probably buying within the macro here. Right, so we have closed above this fair value gap. Let me shift it here. Right, let's see if we have a fair value gap down here. That would be the best if we have. And my stops will be here, below this candle's low. Okay. Let me take a look at the long. How many points is that? 2.5. Fair enough. I'll look for this volume imbalance here. 8 points. Alright, limit buy. This is a valid breaker if it ever closes above it. I don't want to be buying the breaker though. I prefer the fair value gap. Come on, yes, take me in. If it closes above this, I'm probably not gonna get this fair value gap right here. Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. No. Don't close above. Right. It has close above. Let's see if we get a fair value gap right here. Oh, okay. No wick on bottom. You mean this bottom here? Alright, so tag me in, please. Tag me in. Take me. Don't leave without me. It's hilarious. No, I don't want the down close candle here. If it closes above the down close candle, I think I'm not gonna get this entry here. Okay, just saying. Then I'll have to look for a higher entry. No. Oh no. This is funny. Don't make me buy this. But as long as it's below the daily open, to me it's still fine. Oh, I'm seeing some hope here. Yes, it has closed below. Good. We can come back here. Take out this stop here. This is a swing low. Please do so. Come on, yes, I know you're weak. You're weaker than NQ, so please come down to my level here. Let me measure the current dealing range, just so I know where the 50% is. It's right around this level here. Good. Alright, yes, please take out this swing low and drop into my entry. You're short on NQ. Oh, interesting. I think NQ is going to trade higher though. Like it's time for reversal. I mean, if it closes above this high here, I mean this down close candle, I don't like it. I'm watching it. Yes, it is still closing below this candle here. I have a chance. Market's gonna crash today. Well, let's see if it starts after lunch. Man, it's taking really long for me to enter a position. The breaker is holding the price, man. Right here. This breaker, look at the mean threshold. Oh. Man. I hate the breakers, man. If this is a breakaway gap, we're really going to trade higher. Okay, I'll wait and see if there is a fair value gap up here when it takes out this short-term high. But I would prefer it to take out this high rather than this high. Alright, we have a chance here. So let's see if we get a fair value gap. My stops will be down here. 50% of the wick would be my gauge of strength. Let's see, right here. I can't pinpoint that 50% level. Alright, never mind. I'll just put it here. 30 more seconds for the candle to close. I'll leave here first. It's gonna run above this highs into this volume imbalance and probably above this highs as well. Okay, because this is a breakaway gap, in my opinion. We're gonna speed through this high. Okay, low resistance liquidity runs above this high. Okay, the fair value gap's here. Right here, and my stops will be here. Take this out. Where is it? This is it the low, or is it this one? I'll just take this one. Come on, let me in. Let me in. But don't fail on me when I get in. 2.25 to this level here. It's only 2.3 R. I mean, better than nothing. Above this high here would be... Oh wow, order field. Stops here. If it stops me out, I'm done for the day, okay? $100. Not too bad. So $100. Oh, why did I place it up here? Oh, sorry, it's the automatic. Let's see if I can take this high here. I don't want to see the candle closing below the 50% of this wick. But even if it does, I'm gonna hold it, okay? I'll treat this as the order block. Because for good trades, I mean for good setups, it should not close below 50%, okay? That's when I know if the strength is good or not. Okay, so the next up close candle, I want to see it close above this high, be it a single up close candle or consecutive up close candles. Right? I don't like how we are trading like this deep into back into the breaker here. The mean threshold of the breaker is right here, the bodies. Here. Man, took me out. Okay, I'm done for the day. 4143. Okay, negative 143. I think if it's going to go higher, it should not come down here. That's just my opinion, right? And if it comes down here, it's probably going to go lower. Okay, that's why I didn't put my entry down here, and that's why I put my stops down here as well. Because this is a breaker here, we have utilized the breaker and we have expanded away from the breaker. So to me, logically speaking, if price is going to spool higher, because right now we are in the macro, price should not trade down into this fair value gap. But I may be wrong, right? It may just trade down here and stops me out and run higher. That is totally possible as well. Okay. Yes, it's just not giving it to me, huh? Right. I still think we're gonna go higher. These highs are just too clean in my opinion. Oh well. A new hour candle. Oh, what's the opening price? The opening price is right here, man. Yeah, I understand that it can wick lower, but I just didn't want to see a wick below this low. Because to me, this is like a... One thing is that this is like a shift in market structure. Second thing is like, for reversals, I would much prefer low resistance liquidity runs. Because that would indicate that it's a strong reversal, not like a fake reversal. Okay. So let's see if I'm right. Right, so if I am right, price should take out the low here. I'm right, meaning that we are going to continue bearish, which should take out the low here. Once we close below the breaker, it's going to act as inversion. Alright, right now the breaker is going to act as inversion, and we have a short-term breaker right here, which comes in around the mean threshold of this old breaker. And so at this point in time, if you're short, you don't really want to see price trading above this breaker. This high here, that would be the stop loss. When it takes out the low, it should close below this fair value gap here. This one. This particular candle I want to see it close below the fair value gap. It's not closing below. One more consecutive down close candle should be fine, in my opinion. But at least it's closing below this up close candle. Okay, we have this wick here. It can return back up into 50% of this wick, but you don't want to see it close above. Okay, this is very bad if I'm short. Right, so the wick is this one. Sorry, I changed the wicks. Okay, I prefer to use the swing lows. Right, so this is not what you want to see. Stopped out if you're short, because this particular candle didn't close below the fair value gap. Okay, right now what does it want to do? Does it want to gravitate to this highs again? Let's hope so. Do I want to take another entry? What time is it? It's 12:08. Yeah, because of this down close candle failing to close below here, it's valid. YM didn't take into its fair value gap. YM, which fair value gap? The 1 hour? I mean the 1 minute? Or is it the 5 minutes? 1 minute? I think it did spike into it like 1 point or 1 tick. Yeah, I think it did. I mean, on my chart it did. I'm not sure about your chart. Okay, this fair value gap here, last chance for reversal in my opinion. What's the point here? Let me see. 2.75. I'll take it down a little bit here. Alright, I just went AFK, which is why I cancelled my orders. But I cancelled when this high was taken, right? So in my opinion, it should not come back here anymore if it wants to spool higher or wants to trade higher. Therefore, I have removed my limit orders and I will not be trading anymore for today. So I will just keep my losses at negative 143. I'm considering whether I should just move on to NQ micros. Yes, for I think for 2 days now, it has eluded me quite aggressively. The other trade was down here during the London session. This right here, right? I was using this fair value gap and my stops was here, but I didn't like that this candle traded back up that high, closing above this fair value gap, because I was anticipating lower prices to take out this lows here, right? But if you take a look at NQ, it played out perfectly. SMT on the highs as well. ES was making lower highs, therefore I was anticipating more bearish price action, but somehow NQ was the one that delivered. Perfect. This is perfect right here. Okay, and it just traded all the way down into this level here, which is the target for NQ anyways. So same thing here for the AM session today, right? So if I were if I were trading NQ, my entry would be here. This inversion fair value gap's low, regardless of the breaker. Regardless of the fair value gap, right? My entry would be here. Sorry, my entry will be above the fair value gap because it's slightly above right here, and my stops will be right at this high. My invalidation would be any closing candles above this inversion. So let me just take a look here. Yeah, you're welcome, man. You're welcome. 16 points. So if I just sell 5 contracts of micros, that would be a risk of 160. Still fits in the 300 daily max loss. And I'm gonna take it all the way down into this low here. Sorry, not this low. Asia's low is what I'm looking for. So Asia's low would be, let me take a look right here. Oh, which is London's low. Right, weird. London took out, okay, London's low. So that's like a 6R for this. So much better in terms of, price action as compared to ES. That ES, I hate that guy. So that's it for this live stream here. Yeah, but as you can see, this fair value gap should stay open, right? It's very, very choppy here. I hate it. I hate ES. And yeah, for this I'll close the live stream. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Next week will be better, definitely, because we have CPI. Okay, and I'll see you again.